You're listening to Radio Cosmos.
All night long.
Bravo! My compliments, little lady.
Commercial!
Break for 30 seconds.
You are now listening to BaaD Radio.
Good afternoon and welcome to BaaD Radio. BaaD stands for Business at a Distance. This is a show about local businesses and business networking. Thank you so much for being here today. We are a live show, so you can listen to us on 105.5 FM, 660 AM. You can also listen to us online at floridamanradio.com or download the Florida Man Radio app and take us everywhere you go. I'm your host, Angela Smarito, and in studio with me we have DJ Heather, the producer.
Hello.
Happy Sunday. How are you?
Sunday. I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. You look happy over there with your apple.
Yeah, you look happy.
I am good. I am happy. And next to me, my beautiful co-host, Emily Murphy. How are you?
I'm great. Glad to be here.
Mm-hmm. And then still getting set up a little bit is our new member, but I'm not going to put her on spot. We have Melissa Jacob with Striking Brand. She's going to be our videographer, and I couldn't be more happy because she's done 2 shows so far, and they've just been absolutely amazing.
So if you guys miss the recording.
Yes. So not only can you listen to it, you can also watch it.
Yes.
So that's even more riveting.
And for our guests, you'll have it to take away to share with your audience or do whatever you want with.
And speaking of guests, we have, I can't believe we have these two in here. We have Brian Hastings with Four Seasons AC. Hey, Brian.
Hey, how's it going?
And Mike Hayman with Liberty Property Inspections.
Hello.
So if anybody knows these two, they know that they're kind of come attached at the hip. Well, kind of. Not so much anymore, right?
No, we're still attached at the hip.
Tell us where your relationship first began.
It all started playing pool.
Well, we have a lot to talk about with them because they really do. They are 2 amazing guys, and they've been part of my networking journey since the beginning, to be quite honest with you. It's just a reminder that you can call and text in at any time to 321-339-1055. And I'm going to give a huge shout out to our sponsors. And first and foremost, we have Liberty Property Inspections. So she has a clap. I know she does.
Oh, there we go.
So they work with home and commercial building inspections, environmental inspections, roof certifications, and roof inspections. Again, that's libertypropertyinspections.net. Hit your number real quick too, because I didn't write that on here.
Our number, the easiest one to call, is 407-739-5795, and you'll reach either Danielle, or if she's busy, you'll get my wonderful voice that you hear now.
Yes, I do like that voice. I like your message. He's like, I'm either stuck in an attic or I am helping a customer right now.
That's correct, and we hope not to be stuck in an attic in Florida.
Right.
Try not.
And next up, we have Ground Up Property Services. So if you're buying a home, you need to include an irrigation inspection in your process. Rick Hall has an irrigation inspection program already established, so you can call him and he can get that set up and just make that part of buying your home. And also a huge thank you to Andrews Law PA, Renee Sterling, our mortgage expert, and Sheepdog Promotional Products. Thank you. I do like that. I like that very much. All right. So, Emily, I know you recorded today. So what do we got in the cooker tonight for your show?
Tonight, I'm talking to Amanda, who's lost 60 pounds.
Okay, I know Amanda. Amanda, she was on our show.
Yeah, yeah. So we talk about her journey and how much of a troubled child she was. She self-proclaims herself as my worst client, and she lived up to that and came out on the other side. And so we go through some of her journey and the tips and the things that she gives, to help people stay focused and believe that they can get there.
Did she not believe that she could? Is that what it was?
That's what it is most of the time. It's mostly a mindset of being stuck in your own habits and old ways that we like to be in a comfort zone of some sorts, even if it's not comfortable.
Yes,
and because it's what we know, and we can talk ourselves out of doing the things that will lead to change easily a lot of times.
Yes, I know how to do that for sure. So I saw you launched your podcast.
Yes.
And they look phenomenal. So tell me how all that works.
So it's on Apple Podcast and right now. So, and we hit the charts at 55, 3 days in. in nutrition. So that's really big.
I don't know what it means, but it sounds really cool.
It's really big. So we launched on Apple so we could try to get all of the downloads in one place for the first week. And then things will be on Google Podcasts, Spotify, and other podcast platforms. So anybody can listen that doesn't have an iPhone. But it was super exciting. And then I also went to a 3-day conference called Podfest the last few days. And that was just such an exciting experience to launch on Monday and then meet be in a room of 5,000 other people that are doing the same thing and have incredible messages and stories. And I'm so excited to just get my message out and have it available to people.
That sounds so exciting. I can't wait to talk to you about that more because I'm letting her do the front running with the podcast stuff, and then I'm gonna let her do all that, and then I'm gonna come up behind her to do that as well.
Yeah. It's just really exciting.
And so what you've done is you've taken the shows that you've done on Florida Man Radio, and then you've broken them up into episodes.
Yeah, they won't be broken up after the launch. They were broken up so people could listen to them in little segments. And now there'll be full episodes after this. But that's what, we're recording here, and then it becomes a podcast. And I have other episodes, too, that I've inserted with guests off the radio because they're not here locally. So I had to do, Zoom with them. And I'm just really excited.
You're working in it. You're getting it all sorted out. That's so awesome. So tell everybody how to find those.
So you can go
guys, while she's doing that, I expect you to have your phones out and doing all of this right now.
You can go to gogetemcoach.com, and there's a link there for the podcast, or Go Get 'Em Radio is where you find me on Apple Podcast and where you'll find me on Spotify and Google Podcasts later this week.
That's so exciting. I'm so happy for you.
Me too. It's been a long time. It took me kind of a whole year to get up and get rolling and for it to come to fruition.
I would like to point out that our gracious hostess did send that to me already.
She is my hype girl. Yes.
I just have one question for you, and that is, can you help with time management? Because all of that you have going on and you're just so calm and composed.
Sometimes calmer than others. But yeah, that's part of it. And just making priorities for the things that you want to do and compartmentalizing and slowing down enough. At the end of the day, though, we all have so much coming at us, and we live in a pace that's so fast, and our brains and bodies are archaic, right? They're what we were doing a few thousand years ago. We have not evolved at the pace of technology, and we have to consider that. And I really believe your power in taking all that back, your time management, your health, it all starts with your health, and just how you process things can start from what you eat during the day, how much sleep you get, the habits that you keep, and it pours over to everything, to running a business, to managing your relationships, right? The time you get with your family, right? If you can feel good and be present in the time where you want to be, if you're at your business, you're at the best at your business, so that when you're done for the day, you're the best for your family, or you're working on your health goals or whatever. So,
and I could just sit here and listen to her talk about it forever.
So I do have my own show. We won't go on.
I know, but I could. I'm just yes, and because it is. Every time I talk with Emily, I feel motivated, and what the best part about it is that I always feel like it's something that I'm capable of doing. I never leave having a conversation with her going, well, that's, those expectations are above me, because I know that it's just the way that you address them or how you present them, and that makes people motivated. So I'm super excited about that, and I'm looking forward to the show tonight and all the ones moving forward. And then I wanted to talk a little bit about what I've got going on this week with JVC Broadcasting. And I talked to Brian and Mike a little bit about prior to the show today, is I want to talk about events a little bit, because now that COVID has come, I'm not going to say COVID's at an end, but now, we are prior to the COVID era, we did a lot of outdoor marketing. JVC Broadcasting was known for doing local events. And obviously COVID shut that down. But now things are back up, and it's exciting, and there's a lot of opportunity, because with events, you get to be in front of people. And so prior to COVID, I remember one of the first meetings I had with Brian. We talked about events, and Brian works for Four Seasons, or he owns Four Seasons AC, so it's an air conditioning company. And I remember one of our first conversations, you were hesitant about events, right?
Yep, exactly. We'd had some experiences, would be the best way to say it. Yeah.
And remind me, was it the weather?
Weather, yeah, we had a couple things. The main one was weather. And it really boils down to just not being prepared.
Yes.
And if you go out there and you've got a pop-up tent, you've got things, you can actually turn it to be a positive. Because I know we had an event we did with you guys that was amazing, and it was crazy, crazy rain, but we got people all under our tent. And
You had a captured audience.
Time to close.
it was the best. The best. Yeah, so now we love the rain.
Right. Well, I think what it was too is that I think that the event that maybe you had done in the past, you didn't have that to figure out how to capture that audience. And Mike, you guys do events as well.
Yeah,
Liberty
I
Property.
love events. I think events are the best way to get out and meet people. And I remember the event you had, you charged people an appointment schedule to be able to get out of the rain. So that was super smart.
Make a little extra on the side. Yeah.
And so what were some of the things that we did at both? I mean, I'm trying to remember some of the things that we did at both of y'all's tents. I think that we did like a ticket giveaway. Is that what it was?
That was that was always big. Just people love free stuff.
Yes.
And getting them in there, and people get really, really excited, and then they just want to talk, and that's the fun part, getting to know people.
Yeah. One event we did in Mount Dora before
Was that
the rain.
Freedom?
The one before last year, we gave away, I think, wind mitigation insurance inspection, and saved a person quite a bit,
Nice.
And just to get them to stop in and say hello. And then from that, we ended up with four other things that we were able to complete. So plus I met a lot of cool people.
Yes. So that's just it. So both of these gentlemen ran an advertising campaign with us, and lots of times I'll bring I'll even say their names in their commercials. So I'll say Mike with Liberty Property. I'll say Brian with his crew with Four Seasons, and then people come out to the Wolf event, and then they're like, oh my gosh, it's Brian from the commercial. So they get to shake the hands. And then in addition to that, when I say the ticket giveaway, I'd give them some sort of I can't remember. It was like concert tickets or something like that. And it wasn't like a huge venue, but it was something that people go up and they would register to win.
Yeah.
And so they could put their...
So you can build your list.
Exactly.
And then you started to do also a free inspection. So you did wind mitigation and
we did
service?
a free AC inspection. So we'd go out and we'd do a basic tune-up. And it was just a nice way for people to get an introduction to us and see, hey, those nice people we met at the event, well, they've got nice employees too. This might be a good thing.
And is it hard?
Oh, it's extremely hard. No, it's if anything, it's the toughest part is it's fun, and you want to get involved in the event also. So you're looking around, you're seeing all these people walking through, having fun, coming up, talking to you, and it's just it's a blast. There's always food. There's something going on.
Drink.
Yeah, so it's a different time of it's a different type of networking, and like what do they say, not working, and having fun and hanging out and showing people your business.
That's it.
And so what we do have the C3 Fest coming up, and it's this Saturday, but we also have like a whole event calendar coming up. So I really would like to talk with people that want to talk more about doing outdoor events. And Heather's playing the music, which means that we're already going to go to break. I can't believe it goes by so
quick.
fast. All right, so when we get back, we are going to talk with Brian Hastings with Four Seasons AC, the AC company that you wish you called first.
Florida Man Radio. Welcome back to BaaD Radio, brought to you by Premier Couple Superstore, because a couple that plays together stays together.
And welcome back to BaaD Radio. This portion of the show is brought to you by Impact Electric of Orlando. Zach and his team would love to become your long-term electricians. Impact Electric focuses on residential and commercial electrical work, and they're happy to come out for the small and the big jobs, and they are just overall amazing people. Have you guys met Zach yet? Zach Edler?
Have not.
Oh,
All right.
we gotta get you guys in a room.
You would be in the
Yes.
best sphere. You know how BNI has like the power spheres?
Power team.
Power
Yes.
team.
Yes.
And you can reach Zach at 407-747-0874. And also a huge thank you to Four Seasons AC, who's here with us today. Do-it-yourself pest control on Fern Park, and Angela Keen's hair and makeup. So like I said, before I went to break, I said we were going to talk with Brian, and that's what we're going to do. All right. So how many years ago did you and I meet Brian?
Oh man, it's been what, 7, 8 years?
I started, and I don't think it's been quite that long. I started with
Wrong.
JVC in like 2014 or 15, and you're like one of the first people that I tried to get appointments with.
You tried for a while.
Yes.
She is persistent.
Well, I did. I worked very hard on getting that first appointment with Brian because he had the best gatekeeper that you've known to man. I could just not get a face-to-face with him. What made you, I can't remember what finally made you decide to see me.
It was, once I found out it was a country station that JVC had at that time, I said, man, you know what? Country music, people are loyal when they listen to a country station. So I said, I'm going to go ahead and listen and see what she's got to pitch.
Yes. So he allowed me that face-to-face. And, man, I don't know what it would be right now if you didn't let me have that meeting.
We might not be here.
I know.
No.
Really, I owe so much to Brian because after that first meeting, he did allot me a small budget for a radio program, and then we've grown it from there. And then he invited me to my first networking event, or it was a networking group. It was not BNI. It was called Next Level Networking, and that is actually where I met Mike as well. So how did Next Level get started? You guys were BNIers, and you kind of branched off a little bit?
Yeah. It was a group. They wanted to go a little bit further, and they wanted to really have people that were at the next level. So they wanted the best of the best. So they wanted it to be a kind of a BNI on steroids. And it was a great idea.
Yeah.
And yeah, they had some good people.
Well, so I came as Brian's guest to Next Level Networking, and I loved it. I was amazed that you could actually meet people and talk to them and have an audience where the people aren't shutting the door saying, we don't want to be sold to, we don't want to be sold to. I was like, is this for real? I couldn't even believe it.
Yeah.
And I think in that first year, I closed a tremendous amount of business, and it wasn't that I was just selling to the people in the group. But then in addition to that, I mean, Brian is now my AC person. Mike Hayman has saved me tons of money.
Yes, we'll talk about that later. Writing a note.
I gave them both notepads to take notes.
I was wondering. I was like, oh, they both came.
Yeah, we are not that organized, believe me.
I am.
But so Brian, you really are one of the biggest networkers that I know in this market. How long have you been doing that?
Over 15 years been networking. So yeah, between Chamber of Commerce and BNIs and just getting out and meeting people, events.
Yes.
Yeah, and making that a priority in your marketing.
It's actually a line item in our marketing, and for me, that face-to-face it's everything.
Is Four
so
Seasons
important.
yours, or is it a franchise? Is it?
No, it's mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And where are you're located in the Popka area, right?
We're in Orlando, Northwest Orlando, but we work all over from DeBerry down to Celebration, Kissimmee, out to Eustis, and then, east side of town, we'll go out to Juliota.
Mm-hmm. And sorry, go ahead.
Oh, so I've seen it and heard it all over besides just being here. So that's why I was wondering. So it all is from you.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yep.
And Brian has a very hands-on approach with his marketing, which I think is fantastic. And this year you're talking about customer service is something that you guys were focusing on, right?
Yeah. What's the best way to put this? There's so many AC companies out there, and there's a lot of good AC companies, and there may be some bad ones out there, I've heard. But the one thing that we can bring is, training and customer service. And we just, every week, we pound that into everyone's head. And we're really focused on it this year. It's like every week we have a meeting and we talk about, hey, I had a call. We should have done this differently. And our service manager, he's on the phone constantly with a text. So it's a good thing.
Now I think it's fantastic, especially right now because in the trades it's in such high demand that I can see that customer service could go to the wayside on many situations because, especially in Florida, if your AC goes out, you're SOL because it's hot.
it's tough. And the techs get tired. And, they start forgetting things. And so it's tough. So it's a constant reminder.
And then what about the 24-hour same-day service? How does that work?
So our goal is if you call, we're going to be out there within 24 hours. It's just too hot to leave someone without air. We're pretty good at it. Sometimes in the heat of the summer, it's tough to do, but we do everything we can to get out there and get people taken care of.
What are things that people can do now if they're like my AC has not gone out yet? Should I be calling you to say, hey, come give me a checkup?
It's actually, that's one of the best things you can do is, have that AC checked out at least once a year. I always like to have them checked out in the spring before you really get into the heat of the summer. And then believe it or not, the heat is more likely or just as likely to not come on because we hardly ever use it. So
Yeah.
October, November, that's a good time to make sure, is that heat really going to come on?
Mm-hmm. And I'll tell a quick story about when Brian saved my life. It was over a Mother's Day weekend, and we were over at the beach enjoying ourselves. And when we got home, our house was 115 degrees on the inside. And this was Mother's Day weekend. And I can't even deal with this. And so we did call Brian, and they had it fixed. Like, I don't even think it was 24 hours. It was less than that.
That's what we go for.
We came home last year. We had gone to our high school reunion and came home like 3 a.m. And it was so hot. And our AC was a year old. So we didn't even think, it didn't even dawn, why could it be out? Mm-hmm. And I call and they say, we'll come in 24 hours, or we'll come in, I don't know, maybe the morning or something. Mm-hmm. But I didn't realize it was 3 a.m. So they were going to be there on Monday morning, not Sunday.
Not Sunday.
So we're like waiting for 10 a.m. or something the next day. And it was like, I called and they're like, no, Monday.
It's excruciating. You can't think or breathe or do anything like that whenever it's too hot. And so I keep getting the razor roof. I think I'm talking pretty loud. What do you guys think?
You keep sitting back, though.
Oh, am I?
Yeah, you do float back just a little bit,
I'm
like
just
kicking
'cause I
back,
get so
relaxing.
relaxed.
Yeah, I can tell you, we work a lot with Brian, being able to call if we have questions about things we haven't seen. And there's some realtors that Brian's been referred to and worked with that we've had out there. And one time those realtors were on vacation in Greece and were on the way home, and the person watching their house, they weren't going to be home for about 48 more hours. The AC had gone out, and they had pets. And I called Brian. I said, what can we do?
Yeah.
They found somebody, one of his people, to stop what he was doing, to get out there to find out what happened. In between ordering the motor that went out, he went back, finished his job, and then went and picked the motor up, put it in, so it was ready in less than 24 hours.
Wow.
That's so amazing, especially for the pets.
Customer service with them is second to us.
And then
Nice
I did
plug back.
actually get a new AC through Brian, and it was a great process as well because he gave me several different options to choose from. He's just nodding his head. How does that work too? Tell us about that.
Yeah, so the way I see it is we want to educate you so you can make a decision. We don't want to make that decision for you. So yeah, it's all about giving you options, whether it was a repair versus replace. And then if it's definitely you want to replace it, well, let's give you a few options so you can decide what's going to make sense for me. We have no idea, so you've got to make that, and we're just here to answer questions.
But you've seen the wrong AC installed in people's houses before.
Yeah.
Oh,
and you hear
that was my old AC.
Yeah, you hear the stories, ACs installed that are too big, and you've got humidity issues, too small, and it just doesn't work in the summertime. There's tons of horror stories.
What happens if you have one that's too big?
Oh, it's crazy. So if it's too big, it doesn't run long enough. So then it doesn't run long enough to remove humidity. It'll cool the house down, but your humidity will go through the roof. So you just keep cranking.
So you're
that.
cold and wet?
Yeah, it's exactly. It is not comfortable. So yeah,
That sounds miserable.
and the unit doesn't last as long. So then that unit dies an early death.
So how do you decide what size AC? Has it got to do with square footage of your house?
It's magic.
That's a secret sauce.
Yeah, it's actually math. It's a bunch of calculations we do. It's super easy, but you would think it was the hardest thing in the world. It's super easy.
Well, we got really different quotes from people from different companies, so it was a very wide range.
Yeah, a lot of people really do use a magic number. They say, oh, your house is this big, you need this size unit, and that's impossible. It depends on the windows, which way those windows face, your insulation in the attic. But it's an easy calculation.
And even this building here, this room used to be crazy hot. In fact, I used to have to bring a space heater to my office because they kept the AC at like 50 degrees because this room was always on average like 85 degrees. And they had several people come out, and so I finally pitched a hissy fit one day, like stomping my feet. And I said, I'm like doing a trade deal with Brian, and we're going to get this thing fixed. And I was so mad. And so he came out here and told us what we had to do.
I was going to say, our studio down at the end of the hall does not get any air. So if you could do something about that.
Brian?
We need another hissy fit.
I can. It was fun, though. Yeah, I climbed all through the attic here and figured it out. It was...
You like made a duct or something, right?
It was so easy, the solution for it. It was amazing. But yeah, hearing that 2 other people had been out, I was just like, what?
So, I mean, because you might not think, though, if you work somewhere and somebody like a property manager controls these things and you're kind of stuck with your temperature in your office, or that somebody could come in and...
No,
do
I
some
was
things
not
and
having it.
Provide solutions.
Yeah.
definitely.
Like I said, I pitched a hissy fit because I could not stand being that cold. I would be typing and my rings would just slide off my fingers.
See, kids, math. Stay in school. Pay attention, math.
Anyway, the message here is that Brian is an amazing person, and Four Seasons AC is such a great company. I can't say enough about them.
So get your checkups booked
Yes.
now if you have not had an outage.
And before the end of the show, we're going to do like the little roundabout, and everybody's going to give their contact information. So we are going to go to break, and when we get back, we're going to talk. Mike's over here sitting on his hands because he's ready to talk.
I never talk. I'm quiet.
All right, stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Florida Man Radio.
Welcome back to BaaD Radio, brought to you by Premier Couple Superstore, because a couple that plays together stays together.
And we are back, and you can call or text us at any time to 321-339-1055. And this portion of BaaD Radio is brought to you by Premier Couple Superstore, because couples that play together stay together. Cut out the middleman and go straight to the source. Premier Couple Superstore has everything from sexy bedroom outfits, toys, games, and everything in between. And they are great people as well. And also a huge thank you to Artistic Beauty in Winter Park and Beauty by Pody. All right, before break, I let you know that we are going to talk with my buddy Mike, and so we're going to do that. Go for it.
Hey. All right. Hey, I'll go with that now.
I know.
I like
I know
being in
you
B&I. Good morning, everybody. No, I'm happy to be here, and thank you for having me over. And, y'all talked about Brian already. You can't get any higher than the truth on Brian, and I'd say I could go a little higher than that because I've known Brian for a while. So, yeah, they're really good.
Yeah. Well, I think you guys are both amazing.
Thank you.
And I also wanted to, both of these gentlemen here do sponsor the show. Liberty Property is one of our newest sponsors, and I can't thank you guys enough. Both of you guys have just been so supportive of me.
I had my wife's permission to sponsor this because she's actually our owner. So we're a woman-owned business.
I love Tina. She's the bomb. I got her a bad shirt too. So when did you start with Liberty Property? Because I know that when we met with Next Level Networking, it was Liberty Property Inspections.
Correct.
And so
we started 9 years ago on April 30th, which was also my birthday. That way I don't forget stuff. So I'm kind of strategic that way. I was married on Halloween, so I didn't forget my anniversary. So been doing this for now 9 years. I worked for another company for a year before that. I have a construction background, and then the missus has 4 degrees in the construction industry and environmental engineering. So I'm a trophy husband that helps her out. No, I'm just kidding. But she does have those degrees and got tired of working for the 9 to 5. So we decided to get our company started. She runs the finer parts of it, and then I take care of the crew that we have, everything in the field. I like to do the marketing. As you can tell, I do talk. I did have to, she wasn't lying. I did have to sit on my hands because I like to network and I like people. So it's just a good fit for us. And that's how we got started. And then I met you through Brian through Next Level. Mm-hmm. And that's just been a whirlwind of fun since the word go. And I think we've already told you, Tina, Brian, and you didn't. Brian has a gatekeeper named Jennifer who, yes, she's very hard to get past Jennifer. So, and we're all really proud of what you've done because we remember when you were just starting to come in to now what you have. So kudos to you.
Oh, thank you. They've seen me through the good and the bad, both of these two. And I always tell people, I'm like, I felt like if I broke down on the side of the road at 2 a.m, they would come get me. Super, super supportive and not without, it's not like both of you guys still expect me to do my job, like as far as being the person that you're buying advertising from. It's not like you're just handing me this. Let's just give Angela whatever she wants.
No, but they know you make it happen too.
Exactly.
I mean, when I love to watch her work and network and connect people.
Aw, thank you. You guys are gonna make
I
me
mean, it can be
blush.
life changing for businesses, for,
Yes, it can.
putting energy into businesses and connecting the right people and spheres of. It's funny. Zach just texted me
Did
his
he?
pizza. Zach is the electrician you need to meet.
Yes.
He's been eating a healthier pizza version.
Electricians
bless
are
his
hard
heart.
to find, especially
He
healthy
just
ones.
showed me, but yeah, it's because that can lead to the next business deal or connection that you.
Yep.
When
Making
we're talking
connections,
small business,
yeah.
I mean that can grow quickly without.
Connecting people and businesses gives me pure joy. I love it.
I love watching you do it.
And so we talked about how Brian saved my neck once. So Mike has a story about where he saved my neck too.
Yes, and thank you for letting me share that. So a lot of people think that a property inspection or home inspection company is just for when you're going to buy a house, right? Or we do listing inspections for when you're going to sell a house. You want to know what's wrong with it. But a lot of people forget that sometimes you might need that third party to come in that knows what they're looking for and is licensed to do that, because it does carry weight, and you'll find out in just a moment. So Angela had her roof replaced.
Yes.
And they were starting to have staining show up, and the roofing company they were being less than helpful with her.
Absolutely.
And so
They basically said
Did
it
not
was
want to
not their
take
fault.
responsibility.
Yeah, they said it wasn't their fault.
I was trying to be polite.
Don't be.
So she hit a wall, and she had called me and said, "Can you come out and see if you can find something?" And I said, "Sure, no problem." So I come out, and it's raining that day, which is perfect for me because
Yeah.
I like it when it rains when I'm inspecting something, and especially if I'm looking for a leak, because that's the easiest way to find it. And so I get up in the attic, and I'm not the smallest guy on the block. I'm not the biggest guy on the block, but if I can fit there, I'll get there. And I went right to the spot where she was having the issue, and I noticed that it was wet, and it was actively dripping. So I took out my phone, recorded a nice video on where I'm at, where everything is in relation to, and you can really tell where it was. And then came out of the attic, showed her, and gave her that, and wrote a little letter about what's going on. That got turned into the roofing company, and long story short, they did repair the problem. But without that, I don't think she would have
Oh,
gotten
no.
very far.
It was so amazing that you did that for me because they were out there in less than a day to fix that. They
Wow.
didn't argue with me. They didn't say anything else. It was a strongly worded letter from Liberty Property Inspections, followed up by a video saying, yes, this is your responsibility. So I'm not sure. And then you also did a wind mitigation for me, which I didn't even understand what it was, but it saved me
Yes.
money. So I was like, okay.
So,
Ching.
yeah, wind mitigations and 4-point home inspections are an insurance-related inspection. And so right now, everybody's seen what's going on in the news. Yeah, insurance companies are pulling out. They're becoming insolvent. They're getting gobbled up by somebody else. So we're doing a lot of those here now. And what the wind mitigation will tell the insurance company is how, one, the age of the structure, the age of the roofing covering, what type of covering, how the truss system is attached to the walls, and then how the decking is attached to the truss system. So it's a lot that goes in it. So along with the outside pictures, we do have to crawl into the attic and try to get straps, clip pictures, things like that they need. Not always the easiest thing to do, but once you put that together, you send that to your carrier. And I would tell your listeners, if you haven't been asked that, or you haven't had one in the last 5 years, or you don't even know what that is, one, call your insurance company, see if it'll save you money getting it. Two, if you're not sure, you can always give us a call, and we can at least answer questions for you. I'm not opposed to anybody asking questions, and if I can help you out, I'll help you out. And thank you for the plug, because we would get up at 4 a.m. and come pick up anybody that we knew and help out, especially you. And we don't want Tommy stressing. So being able to help people is why we do what we do. Having those little components and being able to help people understand that, it just makes my job a lot easier. And education and information is super important.
Because I also want to hit on, how are we on time, Heather?
We got about 4 minutes. We got plenty of time.
Okay. I wanted to talk about hurricane because you mentioned hurricane season earlier. So with hurricane season looming, are we in hurricane season yet? No, it's
Wednesday.
No,
Wednesday.
we're
Okay.
closed.
So should people get their home inspected prior to, or is it just like wait and see what happens?
No, well, so if you haven't had your roof looked at in a while, if your roof's a little bit older, if you've been in an area that's had any of the hailstorms that we've had recently, you want to have that looked at, and either a contractor, a licensed roofer, or a licensed home inspection company can do that. And they can put together roof certification forms, which will give you estimated life of the roof covering, if there's any damages, things like that. And a person can either take that and get with their insurance company, or they can take that and at least have it for their information. Because some things that will happen, during storms, and you get wind-driven rain, and we get that sustained wind for a while. If you have any damage, or if the shingles are older, if there's torn or blown off shingles you don't know about, now you have an area that could potentially present a leak hazard. We also, though, in that had the last about 2 years ago, good hurricanes we had, some new construction people called us, and what was happening, the wind was blowing the rain so hard it was hitting one of the off-ridge vents, backing the water up, and the water was dropping down. Once all that storm like that's the wind-driven part stopped, they've never had issues again. So it was a wind-driven event. So you'll have a couple of those things that you won't be able to see even though you had someone up on the roof. But I encourage people, if you haven't had anybody on your roof in a couple of years, have it looked at just to make sure everything's good. You can call our office, and we do it for a nominal charge. But that's us. Some roofers will do it for charge. Some will do it for free. You have to call each individual one of those, and I'm not sure how the contractors work it because.
But your deductible could be significantly different if you have a problem now or if you have a problem after your hurricane.
This is
right?
correct.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
I'm not a licensed insurance person, but the deductible typically is different from insurance company
So
to
if you get
insurance
hit by a
company.
hurricane, you're going to pay more
Yep.
to cash in on the insurance, right, than you would if
Hurricane
your
deductible.
roof is
You have
already
two different
damaged now.
deductibles. One deductible is if you just got regular damage, and one deductible is hurricane. So we have a $1,000 deductible on our house, but $5,000 if it's a hurricane. We just went
So
through
you
this.
want to know ahead of
correct.
time. It's
Right.
smart to set yourself up.
Yeah, you're an expert from Air Quality Assessor Show. I know that.
Hey.
Do you guys know Richie Kidwell with Air Quality Assessors?
No,
Yeah.
they've got a few people. I haven't met any of those guys. We do. Tina and I are both mold assessor licensed, so we're able to bring that in, but we're nowhere near the platform that those guys are. They're on the front of that spear.
He does a
as it
show
were,
here
so.
on Saturdays at noon to 2, and when I listen to that, I learn something every single time because he talks a lot about the insurance companies.
I do try to catch his show though, so that I can be on top of stuff. So
I
don't
know
mind.
that you can trust Richie to be on top
I'm
of it.
here to help out people.
So with Liberty Property Inspections, so you do like home inspections. What are some of the other services that you provide?
We have home inspections. We have the ancillary inspections we just talked about, wind mitigation, roof certification, 4-point inspections, which are typically for older homes. We do listing inspections, and then we can do air quality assessment, mold inspections, and protocol writing as well. And I couldn't do all this without the team that I do have, which is
Shout out time, give them.
I'm going to give them Nicole, Jessica, Oscar, and Naomi. Naomi's our newest. She's been around for about a year. Nicole's been with me for 6 years, and everybody in between. Oscar is bilingual, can speak Spanish. Nicole is a master qualified inspector. Jessica's right on her heels, and I'm a certified master inspector.
And you do commercial inspections.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Brian. I forgot because
You have such a
Brian had me
calming
doing.
voice. That's what I always say
inspection.
about Brian. Brian's somebody that can like actually like fire somebody and they'll like shake his hand and say, "Thank you so much for giving."
Hi, you gotta go.
But he does. He has a way of delivering this information to where even if it's bad news, you're still like, "Oh, okay, thank you."
That's why him and Tina get along so well. They talk of philosophical stuff and just about all kinds of things. And then Jennifer and I
Like,
talk
woo-hoo,
business
party.
stuff. And, we'll have a little sip of wine, talk business, But yeah, so it's a nice dynamic that we have. And we bounce business ideas off
know.
each other all the time. So love working with this guy.
No, you guys are both amazing. And again, I can't thank you enough for the support through the years. And here we are talking on a radio show about
Yeah.
business networking. Who would have thunk?
Me?
Yeah.
I think Big Yo.
So we're coming up to the end of the show. We still have 2 minutes, so we're going to go around real quick, and everybody's going to give their contact information. Melissa, do you have access to a mic? Okay, so Brian, go ahead and let everybody know how to get in touch with you.
All right. Four Seasons Air Conditioning and Heating, 407-295-9231. Our website is 4acnow.com, and that can be the number 4 or you can spell it out. We've got both URLs.
And soon to come, Four Seasons is going to be having a jingle. So you're going to hear that jingle, and it's going to be stuck in your brain for the rest of the day.
I cannot wait for that.
Mike, what's...
All right, and thank you for having us. And we are Liberty Property Inspections, so libertypropertyinspections.net on the web. Liberty Property Inspections FL at Gmail, and inspections is plural. Or you can call us at 407-739-5795, and you'll reach Danielle or my lovely voice.
Okay, Melissa?
And my name is Melissa Jacob. I own Striking Brand, and you can find me at Striking Brand on all social platforms, so Instagram, Facebook, all those fun things. Or if you want to reach me directly, you can call me at 407-743-6888.
Miss Emily?
So make sure you head over to Apple Podcast now to listen to my podcast, Go Get 'Em Radio. And I'm on tonight at 8 p.m. on this station. And then you can find me at resetwithemily.com or gogetemcoach.com.
And I am Angela Smarito with JVC Broadcasting, and you can reach me at 321-303-6424. And you can also find me on our Business at a Distance on Facebook. And you guys have a fantastic week. Enjoy tomorrow.
Thank you.